Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to West Austin, Texas, and welcome back to my new studio in my spare bedroom here in my condo in Austin. Got Jackson by my side. I'm still having problems getting comfortable here. I mean, I don't know. I love being outside and being able to wave at the neighbors and say hi to the mailman and that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm just a social type person. All right. Let's get on with this. Let's look at these Defiance funds. We'll start with Defiance and see how they're doing. And then we'll go from there into Yield Max, and maybe we'll even look at some Bitcoin and all that kind of good stuff. All right. So here's the buffer report. I mean, not the buffer report. Here's the 5-minute max. Here's my short form spreadsheet. You can see it with yesterday's spreadsheet also. I just remembered I was going to check something for somebody, and I haven't yet, but I will. All right. Somebody asked me, it looks like the dividend estimate is frozen on triple QY, and it may be actually frozen because there's a mistake. That's possible, but it could also be that it's just not changing much. I promise I'll find out by the end of the day, or we'll look into that real quick. All right. Well, in any event, so for today, look at this. We got all 5 funds in green. So the market is saying that the funds are outperforming. In other words, the funds are up more than the benchmark is in every case, or they're down less if it's a bearish day. The most impressive one is USOY, which is up 1.29%, whereas the benchmark, which is USO, is actually down a little bit. That's awesome. You could see what happened. They sold a 75.5 strike put. So when you sell a put, it's bullish. And the strike price is the number you want it to be over if you're bullish, because you sold the put. So you're looking for a market price above 75.50, right? Well, the current price of USO is 77.17. So they've blown out their strike, but that you want to do that on a put. You don't want to on a call. It's complicated. I'll talk about some other day, but in any event, or you actually want to on a call too. They're both at max profit. Anyway, but their strike has been blown out. All right. On the other ones, triple QY is at full profit right now, 916,000, which is awesome. We're showing a strike of 1830. They sold the option for, call it $70. So 1830 less 70 is 18,765 or 760, 18,760. So anyway, the market's trading like 100 handles above that, or 80 handles above that at 18.8. Actually 100. No, yeah. About 80 handles above it. In any event, the market's way above it. So full profit for triple QY. JEPY not doing so well. They sold an option for 13. If they had to cover it right now, it would cost 9 to cover it. IWMY sold an option for 9. It would cost them 8 to cover it. So they're just hanging on by a thread. Okay, so let's look at the charts. So I have the daily charts up. Let's get the 30-minute charts back up. Let's see how we're looking. Okay. I mean, it was max profit most of the day. We just dipped into we did dip into the loss zone, but we dipped into the less than max profit zone for a while, but that looks nice. We'll take that if we can just close the day right now. Okay. Now S&P is a different story though. S&P is just hanging on by a thread. We'll look at Russell. Now let's see what in the hell is going on with USO. Okay. Well, I see one thing that's going on is my buffer report has a problem. In any event, because it's showing, well, no, it doesn't. Okay. It's actually earlier it had a problem, I guess. So it's showing the benchmark up 2.4% and USOY 1.29%. No, I guess that's right. I guess that's right. Okay. In any event, that's impressive. The giveaway to that was, and I talked about that the other day, or I talked about that at breakfast, there was a bullish gap and it was never filled and it's still open. So lots of people think that's a signal to go in the direction of the gap, and the gap was a bullish gap. So sure enough, now we had another one this morning. Do we get another bullish gap tomorrow? Who knows? Who knows? But that was they always say go in the direction of a gap that's not filled pretty quick. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin and see if it's what it's doing. Okay, it's just grinding. Let's look at all, we want to look at all Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is doing better than Bitcoin is. It's not, I wouldn't call Coinbase grinding. I mean, it's grinding higher. Okay, so these are the two strikes these guys sold. And you can still see there's plenty of room for upside appreciation. Coinbase is up 1.5% today. Coney's up 1.78. They're still, because it's not capped, everything's going well. Okay, so that's good. Tesla has, well, we're going to be looking at 3 strikes. Tesla has an inverse yield fund called Crash. Crash's strike is right here at the 170 level. Now, the bullish strikes are up here at 185 and 187.50 and 185 are the bullish strikes. So there's still plenty of upside room for people that have Tesla. And there's still some room on the downside if someone was bearish. Not as much. There's more room on the upside. The bulls are in a better position on this one right now. Okay. This looks good. This looks good. This gap thing happened again. The gap rule. This gap right here was not filled, and it was bullish. So that's a hint that the market may be bullish in the future. Well, anyway, then yesterday the same thing happened. Or this morning the same thing happened. Left another gap. So far it hasn't been filled. Filled would mean it has to. NVIDIA would have to come back down to 1065. In any event, we'll see if these guys roll the options or if they just get stuck with them and just stay here. I would imagine they roll them, but I'll keep you updated. Sometimes they just let them go, and sometimes the market could easily settle back in. But right now, we show NVIDIA up 6.7% and NVIDIA only up 2.6%. And that's because they're capped. And that's why you start to see stuff like that. And if they don't roll out and NVIDIA keeps going up, it's going to get even worse. NVIDIA is going to underperform even more. Same thing happened. It's the same thing that happened to Misty this week. And it was terrible. And there's nothing you could do about it. I don't know why they didn't roll. Maybe there wasn't enough premium left, or I don't know. That's their job. I let them make those decisions. I'm just trying to cheerlead them. Okay. So you can see what happened. They rolled to 1 strike way out here. That's what they did. When they got blown out of all these strikes, they rolled 15% out of the money. And then within the next day or two, that strike got close. They were only 5% away from that strike. Since then, the market settled back down. So we'll see. And they've closed that higher strike, and they have 2 lower ones open down here. Okay, let's look at Amazon. It's just grinding. I've just been looking at it every day, wanting it to hoping that it'll maybe break out. This is a huge bull wedge, is what they call this, but we'll see. All right, let's look at the buffer report. Okay, we talked about NVIDIA already. They are capped, and that's why they're way underperforming. Coney, not capped. Coney was looking better, so we saw that. So, Tesla down 1.3%, Tesla down 2%. What is that? 70. That's 35% buffer, and that's really good. I mean, that's pretty good. Now you can see over here, TSLP doesn't have as big of a buffer because it does a monthly strategy. Monthly strategies don't buffer you as much, but they also don't cap your upside as much. TSLP generally does better on the way up. TSLY generally does better on the way down. Today is definitely keeping that trend alive. AMD looks good today. I didn't look at AMD. Let's see what's going on with AMD. Maybe I should start following AMD. I just try to follow the most widely held and widely traded, but maybe I need to add this one. I mean, this was their bull wedge right here. This formation right here, and right here on this day, they broke out of, that's called breaking out of their bull wedge. And anyway, and they've been bullish ever since. So we'll see if Amazon needs to do the same thing. I'm thinking Amazon can maybe put together something similar. You can see down here they had a bull wedge going, and then they broke it and they went up for a few days, made a new high, and then turned around, and now they're doing another bull wedge. So we shall see. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you listening to me. And I'll be back at the end of the day. Look at this. I was just checking this out. MRNY. Wow. Jeez. Let's see what's going on there. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't follow this one that much, but obviously they're just rejecting the high they set the other day on Friday, or what was it? Yeah, on Friday they set a major new high, and then this morning they came in, gap down, and now they're going the other way. Gap is still open. So if this gap isn't closed, this would be an example of a bearish setup using the gap, using that gap rule that I like to use sometimes. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you guys for listening to me talk about technical analysis. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I do appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and I'll be back after the end of the day, and we'll look at the buffer report extensively, and we'll look at all the funds and see how everybody did. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good day.